After years of designing their own wearable operating systems, Samsung finally came back to WearOS, and that is great news. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 and 4 Classic are Samsung's first return to the operating system, which are absolutely excellent and exciting devices. But after using the Galaxy Watch 4 for the last month or so, I'm starting to wonder whether it will take some time before Samsung's able to perfect the idea of a wearable on Google's operating system. Let's talk about it. This is Zenoiso, and this is the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 review. I will readily admit that I had high expectations for this smartwatch, and so my review is going to have those expectations as a benchmark. And generally, those expectations were not met. But let's walk through it as a normal review. Let's start with the design. The design of the Galaxy Watch 4 is basic. It is generally very bland. It looks good, but it just looks good because it's sleek, but not necessarily because it's unique. To me, the Galaxy Watch Active 2 had a better looking body and case than the Galaxy Watch 4, because generally I prefer the kind of curved edges or the curved glass of the Galaxy Watch 2. The metal frame might do something for durability. I've already taken a couple hits with my Galaxy Watch 4 and the screen thankfully has not broken. But it doesn't look all that fancy, and it doesn't look nearly as expensive as, for example, the new Apple Watch 7. I have the larger model of the Galaxy Watch 4, which admittedly I'm a little bit disappointed about. I prefer smaller smartwatches because I get wrist problems from wearing big, thick smartwatches, especially if they have particularly stiff bands. And that's exactly the way I describe the Galaxy Watch 4 band. The default silicone band is quite a bit thicker and more dense than the Galaxy Watch Active 2's, and it's also thicker than the Apple Watch's default band. Now, I don't love the Apple Watch's band either, but at least it's a little bit thinner and a little bit more flexible. I would prefer a little bit more flexible, stretchy of a default band so it would fit more comfortably on my wrist. But obviously the difference is here, you can swap it out with just about any other band that you want to buy. I selected the green model, which I had expected to match my Galaxy Z Fold 3, but unfortunately was only able to get a silver one of those. While the silicone band is obviously green, the case is also green, but in most lights it's kind of difficult to pick up, and most people probably just assume that it's black from seeing it from a distance. What really sets the Galaxy Watch 4 apart is the software. WearOS 3 is a significant improvement over WearOS 2, and while we haven't seen other versions of WearOS 3, the WearOS 3 on Galaxy Watch feels incredibly Samsung. I wouldn't have really been able to tell the difference if you told me that this is just an evolution of Tizen that is able to download apps from the Google App Store. Similar to the Galaxy Watch Active 2, you can use the outer rim as a dial to navigate through the operating system. It works not great. The physical dial of the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic will probably be a lot better, but this one just feels very stuttery and inconsistent. More so than previous iterations, the experience of using WearOS 3 on the Galaxy Watch feels like using an Android phone. You swipe up from the bottom to get to your app drawer, you swipe to the right to get to all your widgets, and you swipe to the left to get to your notifications. It's all very intuitive. The whole operating system makes a lot of sense, but it still feels a little bit bare. Let's start from the bottom with the app drawer. Generally, I think this app drawer is significantly better than the kind of rotating dial that you had on previous Samsung watches. I like being able to easily swipe through all my applications fast, but unfortunately the organization of the apps is a little bit odd. There's no labeling of what app you're looking at, and so more of the Samsung apps that I don't recognize, I have to actually click into to know what they do. In addition, the kind of weird offset grid, along with the fact that each point of scrolling is anchored to a certain line, makes the navigation of this menu just generally kind of clunky. Moving to the left gets you to the notification menu, which generally works fine. It's kind of weird having to swipe through your notifications the same way that you have to get through widgets, and once a notification is gone, it's gone for real. Moving to the right gets you to widgets. I wish more app developers specifically included widget support in their applications, because I haven't seen a lot of good use cases for the widgets, and therefore most of my widgets are just Samsung's first-party apps. They're just the ones that I left there from the original first out-of-box experience. I think one example that might be cool is being able to program quick actions to send to your phone from your watch in a little widget app. For example, being able to open up Spotify on your phone and open to a specific playlist. Finally, let's talk about the last thing that makes a smartwatch, the fitness and health features. Now, I can't tell you about all of the different oxygen levels and body compositions and all of the different sensors that are baked into the Galaxy Watch 4. Because frankly, the only ones that I typically use are the GPS and the heart rate sensor, because those are what particularly matter to me when I go for a run. On most runs, the Galaxy Watch was within 3 or 4% of my phone tracking the same GPS route, which is perfectly reasonable for me. If you are the type of person who's very, very particular about your heart rate being tracked to the T, then probably the Watch 4 is not the right solution for you. One of my biggest frustrations with the Watch 4 is its integration with Samsung Health. Samsung Health, if you are heavily integrated into it, is fine. It just doesn't have all of the specific features that I particularly want out of a health and fitness application. I would prefer being able to set Google Fit as my default fitness application for everything, or maybe even Fitbit, but unfortunately, that's not really the option. You are able to install Google Fit from the App Store and use it, but unfortunately, the automatic tracking features or anything that is kind of baked into the experience of using the watch are all default to Samsung Health. And one of the reasons why I don't like Samsung Health is that it gives you a limited amount of options for what sort of workouts that you can track. Compared to the Apple Watch, it's a fraction of the length, and even compared to Google Fit, the same goes. So I wanted to specifically track dancing, but unfortunately there's no dancing on the Samsung Health app on the Galaxy Watch. Instead, you have to pick a generic workout or just go with Samsung's default tracking, which always seems to think that I'm going on a walk, even though my heart rate's 150 beats per minute. For a smartwatch to succeed for me in fitness, I need it to really motivate me to get my butt off the couch and get going, which unfortunately, a constant reminder of getting up and doing torso twists isn't the type of reminder that I need. There's no suitable equivalent on the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 to rings on the Apple Watch. And while Apple Watch's rings are far from perfect, the fact that several times I've been sitting down on the couch and it reminds me that I'm this close from closing my ring, I've gotten up and gone and done something, that is enough motivation for me. But to counter that, the closest parallel on the Samsung Galaxy Watch is the fact that when I'm standing at my desk, it will tell me that I've been sitting for more than an hour, I should get up and do some torso twists. 5 torso twists every hour is not enough to counteract the half dozen donuts that I eat every morning. And if Samsung isn't going to significantly motivate me to get up and do something other than torso twists, then it doesn't work for me as a fitness product. The obvious solution here is for me to have better self-motivation so I don't rely on the Apple Watch to keep me going. But unfortunately, if that's not going to be the case, then it's definitely not going to be the case with the Galaxy Watch. The most common question asked in WearOS reviews over the years has been whether this is a suitable Android equivalent to an Apple Watch. And that is the obvious title that should go to the Galaxy Watch 4. But I can tell you with a certainty that I greatly prefer the Apple Watch over the Galaxy Watch 4, even though I would use an Android phone over an Apple iPhone any day, which is just so frustrating. It's not the fact that this isn't a great designed piece of hardware. It is covering all of the bases that I need for a decent smartwatch in terms of hardware. It's just the software experience and making me want to use it. It doesn't feel like an essential accessory to a Galaxy smartphone or even any Android smartphone. Whereas the Apple Watch, it feels like it's a good companion to have for an iPhone. And maybe that's because the iPhone already has a lot of shortcomings that the Apple Watch actually fills. Thank you for watching NOISO. I hope you liked this review of the Galaxy Watch 4. If you did, be sure to let me know down in the comments, like and subscribe because it really helps the channel. I'll catch you in the next one.